That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to MOTN Reviews. This is Masters of the Nerdiverse Reviews, where we take a look at some of cinema's most shiniest supernovas and some that are not so brightly lit. This grocery store of a podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and of course Spotify. I'm of course your host, Mike G, and back with me is the host that is also the most. He is Kratos from God of War, but except for the Blades of Chaos, he has the spatulas of indiscretion. It's Brian.
Yo, what up? Hey, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Excellent. I'm well. Thanks for having me here. This is fantastic. I'm glad to be back, and I'm looking forward to talking about this little film that we watched.
You got it. And with me as always, also, he's been on plenty Master Nerdiverse reviews. He's snuck upon our weekly show from time to time with teeth baring. Ozzy Austin. What's going on, Austin?
Good evening. No, it's morning. Damn it. I lost the joke already. Yeah, I'm back. Crap. Redo.
Yeah. No redos on MOTN, my man.
Oh, Jesus. Yes, we're back. It's Sunday morning. I have a cup of coffee, a cup of water, and just going through the motions of living.
How you living? You breathing okay?
Yeah, my gut's full of batter and sticky pancake goop, so I'm doing pretty good.
My gut's full of parasites, apparently. We'll see.
Wait, what?
You ever been sitting and look at your stomach, you see it poke out a little bit randomly? What was that?
Get to a doctor!
That's fine.
Have you checked out
that could be all right.
What is it? It's on Animal Planet or what grows inside of me? The thing.
Oh yeah, the Parasite show.
Yeah,
dude, it is a gnarly show, man. And I watched 15 seconds of each episode, and I'm like, no, I got to turn. I can't live with this.
We are. You know when they say your body's a temple? What do you think lives in the temple, Doug?
Well,
I mean, that depends if we're talking about an Alien versus Predator situation where they have freaking alien eggs in the middle of a temple in the middle of Antarctica.
That's that temple is the director wrote that temple was the interpretation of his own body, Doug.
You know, here in 2020, that is a possibility.
You know what I mean? This is the year. This is truly the age of non-Aquarius. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this film. this quaint little cartoon, gifted to us as the clouds parted by our good friends over at Tricoast Worldwide, over at Tricoast Entertainment. And today we're going to be reviewing Agatha Christie, Spy Next Door.
So already a weird concept of taking a classic author who has done so many spy and crime thriller novels, including the very, very, very famous Murder on the Orient Express.
Yep.
But then relegating it down to a children's cartoon is I feel like this is somebody's way of introducing kids to novel and spy thrillers that's really dietable and manageable.
I could say that's a very good point, because my first introduction to James Bond was James Bond Jr. As a kid, that cartoon, I didn't know what a James Bond was. And that predated GoldenEye 007, if I want to say. So James Bond Jr. got me interested in James Bond. So I watched a bunch of old ones with my dad, and then GoldenEye came out, and GoldenEye 64 came out, and then I kind of ran with it. So I kind of like the idea of our director, who directed and wrote this movie, Carla von Bingston, of kind of taking, like you said, this tried and true detective story that's been around for ages, and kind of just stealing it for 2020, audience, children's audience, which I think was kind of neat.
Well, I look at it as, first off, of course, it's a family film. It's animated. It's beautifully drawn. But I also look at this as an introduction for folks who may be older, who are familiar with Agatha Christie's work, who are introducing their kids to that type of novelization. And, there was the for us older folks, there was the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. So they've been around for a long time. So the young kid spy thing, I mean, didn't you guys play detective when you guys were growing up, or not so much?
Yeah, and that's one thing I liked about this movie. The heart of it is pretty much a kid with an overactive imagination.
Absolutely.
When you're a kid, you had your teddy bear, sidekick, and you go in the backyard and invent a case, right? Like invent a situation. I remember when I was a kid, me and my cousin swore that my neighbor was a vampire, like Fight Night style. So we've devised plans on how to catch them in the act. So we could only be outside for so long, right? When the streetlights came on. But we would sit and watch from the window to see when they got home. And this person only worked, I guess they worked, they were only home during night. They weren't home you didn't see them during the day. So we spent a summer trying to figure out if this person was a vampire or not. We even got as much as to go say hi to them because we got we talked our mom to bake cookies and give them to the guy. And the guy answered the door all creepily. He was like, "Thank you." He kind of dragged him back in the house. I was like, "I told you, Jonathan, he was a vampire. You see his face? He's all pale."
Oh, good God.
He's all crusty.
This guy's probably some kind of overnight stalks person.
Yeah.
Or a night watchman. And you were just like, this guy's trying to go eat people. He's evil.
This guy is evil. You see the
overactive imagination.
Overactive imagination, dude.
I walk around thinking, superheroes are flying around in the sky. You got to do something when you're walking.
Yeah, back in the day, we didn't have computes, dude. We had to make our own fun.
If you're walking and looking at your phone, that's not a smart thing. So put your phone away when you're walking and look up.
I used to pretend I was a dinosaur and I was eating people in the ocean.
See, there you go.
We all have something. See, kids, this is what you call imagination.
I came up with entire drama stories like, this monster ate my father. I'm going to go eat its children.
See? That's a bit warped, but that's fine.
I was 10 years old. That was normal.
Well, and when we talk about this film, we talk about, the themes behind this little children's film. And, parents do worry about some children who may have imaginary friends a tad bit older, who are still imagining things when they're a tad bit older.
I guess we should just hop into the film at this point, shouldn't we?
Yes, and just to give a brief synopsis of what this film is about, it's about AC, little Agatha Christine. Her mother, Cough, where's the dad, Cough, and her siblings are arriving in a new town XYZ. It makes me feel like it's Canada, but I know this movie is kind of
Holland. I feel like it's Holland, honestly. It's Holland? Some kind of Dutch. It feels Dutch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't feel American at all, which is fine, which is cool. But they have these and I do want to give shout outs to the voice actors in this film. I think they do a well job in parts and parcel. It's a little hit or miss, but I think AC does a good job. But anywho, their family moves to this new town where Agatha Christine has apparently been doing this for a while now. She has her own little setups. She has her own little gadgets, which we'll go into a bit more detail later. But as soon as she sets foot down in this new town, she's on the case. And she gets work with the local bodega, kind of seems like, right? To solve the case of the bodega thief. And, wackiness ensues from there. Have any of you ever experienced the move to a new town?
I mean, Yeah, it is a little frightening. Like just new place, people you don't know what's going on this side of town. Essentially, it can be a little weird.
I moved from Chicago, Illinois, to a town of 2,000 people.
Holy crap!
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
AC.
I am very familiar with what a move like that is like, and it can be hard. It can be hard, and sometimes as she had. And I guess I have a question for you in regards to the moving to a new town. Why do you think they moved?
I think
Work.
it has to do with the work because you're right. As it shows, her mom's a cop. Maybe she got a promotion and she was stationed in this new town.
Mom is thick.
To me,
in the
it
ridic.
felt a tad bit more personal than moving because of work. It was a family issue, or I was wondering even a deeper issue is this child's imagination. Agatha, AC, is her imagination a tad bit too much, and perhaps she was the cause of the move. Was it for her benefit?
I don't know.
To the new spot, AC just jumped right into it, and her mom was like, yo, can we do anything else? Anything.
I think the big elephant in the room for me with this movie is like, where is Papa? They don't mention the father. At least I don't think they mentioned the father.
I think Daddy's dead.
I think Daddy wasn't there to take her to the fair. Seems he doesn't care. It just the whole reason for the move. I would, the angel on my shoulder saying occupation, the devil on my shoulder saying, yeah, something happened. Pops is either out of the picture, or like you said, could it be Agatha? But Agatha seems normal enough to where she wasn't like a monster. As the movie progressed, her actions became more aggressive. But I didn't see, like, she didn't treat Agatha in the way that you would treat a child who was deeply disturbed. Like, she talked to Agatha like an adult. You know what I mean? For the most part, she was really patient with her. Even her sister, her older sister, whose name escapes me because her older sister is kind of a nothing character. Though she was irritated with Agatha, didn't treat her like, oh, I got to step lively with Agatha. She may snap on me and, hit me in the head with a man-made drone. But, I don't know. It just, the whole move there was really interesting. And then kind of the transition of her I'm automatically imagining this second Agatha. This is something this second side kind of imagination that she has as her as some 1950s gumshoe, where is she an adult in that?
No,
book?
she's doing the kid thing where she plays as her immediate self, a la Christmas Story style, as a adult figure in a kid's body.
Okay,
like it's such a classic thing in lots of kids movies where they like the kid is an adult but they're really their kid body in an adult's world and whatnot. And
she's chasing this. She's constantly thwarting this same cat. This cat burglar. The most cat burglar you've ever seen. And she's always, her imagination's wandering off with her. But then,
just as a side note, like his uniform, the kid Vincent will be introduced shortly.
Yeah,
the black and white, it actually really reminded me of McDonald's burglars.
Oh yeah.
Every time I saw it, it was like, man, that is
the Hamburglar, dog.
So.
Yeah.
The art style, Mike, being an artist, was this like a colored pencil art style? It was absolutely gorgeous. And
I was trying to pinpoint this art style. It gave me a Hey Arnold kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hey Arnold. Like I was trying to pinpoint what kind of art style this was, because we've done animations on this channel before. This is way different than Violence Voyager. They're just completely different art styles. But this art style did have kind of a color pencil, kind of maybe like a watercolor in a weird way, but it was also solid. It was like Nickelodeon solid. You know what I mean? Like the art style was very nice on this.
It was beautiful. It was very easy on the eyes to see.
and to digest. You know what I mean?
And to digest, yes, except for the one lizard. But go on.
Yeah, we got it. Oh my goodness. That's a whole other.
Is the lizard? So, quick question.
Yeah.
Minor spoilers, I guess. But in y'all's perspective, was the lizard real? Because like halfway through the movie, I was thinking, oh, it's just a personification of her doubts and self-esteem issues. Then it got to, well, maybe it is real.
Okay, we're just okay. Let's just talk about it because we got to get that. We got to get that off our chest. Originally I was like, first thing I was like, the lizard talks. Firstly, the lizard talks, and I was like, okay, this is not real. This is part of her little imagination. And then the lizard started distorting actual reality. Like it started holding doors and
it got huge things. Off of like it just got huge off of candy and like conversations, I guess.
And then I thought, is the lizard the devil?
That's a little too much.
The lizard it gave me a real the leprechauns tell me the burn things kind of vibe. You know,
and just to piggyback off that a little bit, remember what I said about the move and the child. There's a reason I came to this kind of conclusion, and that lizard is part of the reason. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Every time that lizard came on, I kind of got a little nauseous. Just the way it was drawn, it was a little creepy. And I am a 41-year-old male, and I was like, this thing. This thing is weird, man. And what it was saying, it is one of the more intriguing aspects of this film, and it's unexplained, and it's fantastic.
I thought it was her ego. I think it was her ego kind of in the back of her head telling her what she wanted to hear and also telling things that she didn't want to hear. You know what I mean?
Why'd it keep growing?
Because she kept feeding it.
But she kept getting stuff wrong. It's not like her ego was getting bigger. She just got in trouble. You know what I mean? That should do the opposite.
If you feed someone's ego, their ego gets bigger, man. And the bigger the ego, the bigger of a problem.
What about the manipulation of the doors?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, is it the devil? Is this thing some kind of supernatural host? Like, it broke. At first, I thought it was psychosis up until it held the door closed. And I was like, okay, are we dealing with like some high tension like situation where she is the killer kind of situation? Like, I didn't like that lizard at all, man.
No, man, I'm not a fan of the lizard.
It was a tone. It was somebody putting salt in Kool-Aid, man. They mix up the salt and sugar.
Do we have any lizard fans with us? Austin, Mike, are you guys?
I'm a lizard guy.
The lizard was taken away by freaking animal control. I don't know what was real anymore in that movie because God, it was so confusing but great at the same time.
What type of lizard was it?
That was a Gila monster.
Yeah, no, Gila monsters are tiny. No.
That was a Komodo dragon, actually.
That was a Komodo, yeah.
That was a Komodo dragon.
Okay. It was some kind of big monitor lizard.
Yeah, those things get beastly. And since we're talking about the lizard, it said everything she didn't want to hear. It said everything she wanted to hear. And at first it was enabling her. And then it starts sowing seeds of doubt. You know, and why don't you be normal? Why don't you, this is stupid. You dress like a weirdo. Stop, I'm like, this thing is like, and it's a lizard, what makes me think of Adam and Eve and the snake and the tree of knowledge. I was like, this thing is probably like some kind of weird allegory of psychosis-wise self-doubt, but also, is it just the devil?
And it starts turning this little children's film into something a tad bit more, doesn't it? Because all of a sudden I'm watching this thing and I'm like, this is cute. This is charming. Man, there's some themes behind this.
Another theme I want to talk to before we talk about another one of the central characters is I want to talk about her mom. I want to talk about Agatha's mom and how I didn't really like the mom because it was the typical mom character, whereas like the mom, it's like
you agree with me, you agree with Mike.
Both.
Both.
The mom was this typical children's story character who was like, I don't believe you, and you're being a weirdo, and you should wear frilly clothes and dress like a girl and date boys and be a girl. And Agatha's like, no, I'm my own person. I have my own interests. This is what I would like to do for my own entertainment and fun. Mom's like, well, that's wrong. Be more like your deadhead sister who's just in her phone all day. And that irritated me because I knew people like that. I knew parents like that growing up as kids. Because I knew that there was always that one quirky kid that was more quirkier than you. And you see his mom and dad just drill him like, you should join the football team, or you should do this, and set these expectations. And though her mom was sweet about it, it was very passive aggressive, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I just didn't like
it's a little much. It's just like it's the kids cartoon thing, like you said, of parent is just a little oblivious, doesn't really pay attention to what the kid's saying because they're a kid. Why would you bother paying attention to them? Situation. But at the same time, it just kind of made Agatha Christie more independent, which I kind of liked a little bit, honestly. It's like, well, mom's not going to do anything, and she's a cop, so I got to be my own kind of cop.
I understood AC's frustration.
I did too, and
That's
it's one of those things where it's like no one believes me. No one ever believes the kid. They even made a joke about it in one of my favorite horror movies, Eight-Legged Freaks. No one ever believes the kid. You know,
God,
what's
I love
going
that movie.
on? We got to review that one day. Anywho, the mom is just a weird character because you get to reveal that she's an actual cop. And by the way it looks, I don't know if she's a security guard or a real life cop. But then she starts talking to people like in Germany and like Sweden. So she's a cop. But the way she looked at first, she looked kind of top flight, top flight security. And I was like, is she just a security guard? But they have a really nice condo, it looks like, and wherever they are, And the mom constantly pushing boys on her. And it makes me think, like, how old is Agatha? Like, is Agatha like 13, 14?
Well,
It's gotta be, right? Because her mom being that aggressive with it. Like, even that's
she
weird.
kept emphasizing, new things, new life, new things, new life. And with those are the things that was kind of like, what did AC do to get all this pressure? Because there's no pressure on her sister. You know what I mean? She's just being a detective, and a kid with an imagination. Like, what do you do every day? Like, hey, it's a new life. It's a new day. You got to try new things every single day.
I think her mom was just over it, dude.
She was a police officer. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she didn't want her to go into that
lifestyle. You're right.
Lifestyle. Right? Who knows? I don't know.
I think her mom.
For the director.
What if the dad is just RoboCop and they just came from Detroit, and that's the family that RoboCop left? Alex Murphy. They changed their last names and everything. This
is going on too much.
Whatever. That's what I'm thinking. That's my canon. Let's talk about Vincent. Let's talk about, he was a skater boy. We said, see you later, boy, Vincent.
I will admit, I kind of like that they made him and his brother the Asian kids in here. Like, you don't really see many stories focused around minorities like that in general.
I dug it. I dug it. I didn't catch it at first. I thought
it's not a focus, which is great. It's just he's just a person.
I didn't catch it until we met his mom. And I was like, oh, he's mixed. That's cool.
And it's not a focus, which is the best thing. Like,
not a focus.
He's just a person. That's what it is.
Vincent.
Thank God.
He's the red herring but he's not the red herring in a weird way. I'm not going to go too deep into spoilers, but he is Agatha's focus. And I hate to say love interest for a children's, but she's pretty much his not even rival, because he doesn't really want to be bothered with her for the most part. But she's his focus because the first time they meet is in the store, and she thinks he's trying to steal something, which he is. And then her focus lies on him. And for the most part, he's the focal point of all her troubles in this whole movie is her trying to get dirt on him to the point of breaking and entering, which feeds more into Brian's point, of why did they leave where they were. Maybe she broke into some poor person's
Man,
house.
like when you think about Agatha Christie, the novelist, her spy novel books are very wholesome, but they also have themes like people breaking into other people's houses, very innocent type of behavior. But man, how old is this kid?
That's what I'm saying. How old is Agatha?
13. You know what I mean? Because she's seeing a pet lizard. If you're seeing a pet lizard at 13, guess what? Well, it's time for us to like start talking to folks. You know what?
Yeah, like as soon as like it's like I feel like this kid's up to something. It's a very far cry from, yo, I have a lizard talk to me about my insecurities. That's just a little too much.
That's what I'm saying. How old is this kid? If things don't balance out. It's like, if she was 8 or 9, even then it's a little old for that. But then I'm like, okay. But then you have mom like, Agatha's got a new boyfriend, shoulder.
Right. You can't be 8 or 9 cruising around just like, I'm going to be a detective rolling around town by myself.
So
it worked that way.
And then what bothered me the most, my biggest problem is that she gets caught, right? Vincent catches her in his room and he righteously freaks. He doesn't freak out. He tries to play it cool. But then the father finds out and they blow the whole thing off. Oh, your daughter broke into my son's room. It's kids will be kids.
Kids will be kids. Innocent children behavior, unless it's not, and it's a scream for help later on.
That's one thing I was like, okay. And that's what made me start thinking, like, how old is Agatha, man? Like in this movie? Because if she was 13, 14, her little butt would have went to jail. Like they would have kept her a night in jail at least.
Like her mom's a cop.
Her mom's a cop.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't going to go down with, oh, hey, honey, no, you really need to try something new or I'm going to take all this away. It's going to be like, nah, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, guess what? You need to see what this life's about. Hey, you need to see what this life about. Get in the back. You know what I mean?
So, I very much enjoyed the film because of all of these complexities. Because on paper, you look at it, it's a nice children's film. It's nice to look at, but without these complexities, it would be very simple. With these complexities, I'm still thinking about it.
100%.
It's just so charming. Like it's really like so simple. Yeah. The art style is what really gets me, honestly, though. Like I think we mentioned already beforehand, but the art style is so really well done in a watercolor style that it just really drew me in the entire time. And these little tidbits here and there, like, according to Mike, Satan, and random other tidbits here.
Something's up with that lizard, dog. So that's all I'm saying. It may not be.
It's not a snake. He's got legs.
It may not be Satan, dog, but something's going on with that lizard, dog.
It's just a charming little movie, and I kind of dig it a lot.
Absolutely. Go on, Mike. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah. Just to echo what you two are saying, I really dug the movie. Like you said, it's very charming. I love the art style. I love the little bits and things here or there. I want a Skate World shirt for some reason. I made a note to say make a Skate World shirt. Maybe we can get. Maybe we can talk to Tricos, see if they can get me a Skate World shirt. I love the world it builds. You're automatically immersed in this world. I love her little brother for some reason. He's adorable little kid. I just really liked it as a full package. It had a beginning, middle, end. I like that she tinkered with things. I like that she made her own inventions, which kids do not do anymore. Because why would you? When everything, I'm sure if I was her age, I would want a 3D printer just to try to make my own stuff and tinker with things. But I like that she tinkers with, she's handy. You know what I mean? She's capable. She's independent. And I think she's a really good role model for little kids, little girls out there who want to
absolutely
be outside of that bubble of what they're expected to be. And I think a lot about this movie that stuck with me was the expectation of normalcy and that there is no such thing. Like Agatha Christie is her own person. And though her family may not necessarily agree with it, this is her and accept her how she is. And I think that's kind of what the takeaway from this movie, she's a little left of center, but that's fine, but she's totally doing her thing, and she's good at it because you know what I mean. So I really enjoyed this movie. I really, really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. Like you said, Brian and Austin is like, if you want to get your kid into.
Did you forget my name for a second? Jesus.
No, I literally, the back of my head spiked. So I was like, okay, is it time? I was like, it's not time yet. So good.
Woo!
Woo! So that being said, Mike lives to fight another day. So yeah, Brian,
Yes.
if you were to rate this movie from 0 Komodo dragons to 5 Komodo dragons, what would you rate it?
I will rate this on a scale of, if you're sitting down with your younger whatever, it's a 5 out of 5. You should probably watch this film. It's just a cute little charming film. It's about $1.15 long. You can throw in some cookies, grab some milk, and you can come away from it having some really good conversations with your younger whatever. And you know, because the themes are important, and you know, depending on the age of your child, even teenagers, with her sister and the phone, there are even some things to be discussed there. So I absolutely 100% recommend it. I don't think you can go wrong. If you are a grown person just sitting down to watch a film, it might be a little light. That's all I'm going to say.
Cool. Austin, if you can rate this from a 0 DIY drones to 5 DIY drones, what would you rate it?
I'd probably rate this a good 3.5 Amazon review stars for DIY drones with some duct tape and some little Arduino circuit boards. Nice. And I'd give this like a good little sit down for a second, make a nice little drink of water after a hot day, enjoy this with a kid, and just kind of go, that was funny. And then you can kind of just like go into a debate over sub versus dub.
I do want to find the sub for this though, because you know this is this is actually a foreign animated film, which I kind of want to hear it in its native language and see what it goes to, see if it has a sick anime opening.
So if you want to recreate the likely, I'm going to say Dutch from all the names involved in the opening sequel, all you got to do is take some boiled potatoes, put them in your mouth, gargle some milk, and try to talk. That's
messed up.
That's the Dutch language.
That's I don't know. I can't follow that up. As Brian has said,
what do you give it, Mike?
I would give this, if I had to do this between from 0 signs of childhood psychosis to 5, I would give this a 4 out of 5. It's a lean movie. It's very quick. It's a quick watch. It's not very long at all, which is good for children attention spans. And I like how you kind of put it, Brian. Like if I want to say sit down with your kid on an afternoon, you know, kid needs something, you know, hey, sit down and check this out. Let me know if you like it. And let this be the litmus test. If the kid is totally into it, you see them playing spy around the house, let that be an open door to say, check out this book. You know what I mean? Check out this show. Check out this, you know, you may have yourself a little detective running around the house. Give them something imaginative to do. So I think that, and also all of its messages, like you said, are very good for children, you know, in their little developing minds. Like you said, even if they're between that child and teenager, like that tweenie bopper kind of age, it'd be a good transition movie for them to start understanding how responsibility works, personal space, because this movie teaches big lessons about personal space.
Oh God, it does.
Like you need to have some conversations if this is going on in your house.
The acceptance of loss, because we didn't even get into Vincent's major boggle. You know what I mean? Vincent was a trip, but you know, it goes over all those things that kids may not have a firm grip on from that let's say 7 to 15 kind of, range. It's a very awkward time. So a movie like this would be a nice little open door to have those conversations. But if you're, some 30-somethings and 20-somethings, you know what I mean? And you're drinking a beer. I don't know if this is going to quell your brain, but it's still a very, it kept my attention watching it the whole time.
I had a beer and it kept my attention too. So, granted, it was good. It was good.
I give it 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. So, as you know, we all like to definitely thank Tricoast Entertainment for giving us another banger. This is a review. A review. We're getting this before the film is going to be debuting digitally on June 16th, and this is going to be debuting across multiple, I would say, streaming services such as In Demand, Amazon, iTunes, DirecTV, AT&T, Fandango, FlixFling, and Vudu. So please look out for this on the 16th of June. We didn't spoil anything. We didn't really go too deep in the plot. So please check this out with your family, with your little ones, and let this be an open door for growth and understanding. I would like to thank Brian and Austin for joining me on this fun little romp through Deutschland.
Thanks for having me, Mike. It's always a good time. And thank you, Tricoast. Amazing.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this today. It was nice, a nice little break from just bogging my mind down. It was like that's a funny film.
From the horrors. Where can we find you, Brian?
You can find me on eBay over at Wash's Shop and Brian J. Wash on Twitter.
You got it. Where can we find you, Austin?
You find me at Austin Ozzy on Twitter and Twitch, or is it maybe Austin Ozzy or Ozzy Austin? Who knows anymore? The myth is a lie.
The myth is a lie. The cake is a lie.
No, that's a dead meme, Mike.
The cake is truth, then? Okay.
Cake.
You can always find us on our website, which is mastersoftheniverse.com, where you can view all of our past episodes. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/MOTN if you want to support us monetarily. And you can also find us on Twitter, which is at mnerdiverse. If you want to support us non-monetarily, you can always do so by liking our content, by subscribing to our channels, and by commenting on our posts, because feedback is important. Let us know how you enjoyed this film. Is this your first time watching it? Was this an open door for you to Agatha Christie books? I would love to hear your stories and hear your testimonies. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G., and I will always ask you to look towards the skies.
Stay safe.
Look towards the skis.